Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Time to take that walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Another side-by-side. This is Dogfish Head's 120-minute IPA. Guys, I tried this beer 4 years ago when I first got into craft beer, drinking and brewing, and it blew my palate out of my mouth. It was way over the top for my palate at the time. And I have not actually reviewed this beer on camera. I tried it before I was doing the reviews, and or maybe I just got started in the reviews and it was just so over the top for me I decided not to review it. So, and what we have here, we have a 2011 edition of the Dogfish Head. This was bottled on, this is bottled in 2011. And that's all it says. It don't have a month or anything. And this one, it says bottled on 02/15/13. So when they evidently when they first started dating, it just had the year on there and it didn't have the month or the date. And now that they do, and these are kind of pricey beers, guys. These are $10 or more around here. So I don't know what they are in your area, and they're kind of hard to get. Sometimes they limit the quantities. You can only get one or two of these kind of beers. I mean, this is a big beer. It's a 12%er. The IBUs on this is 120. And what the deal is, why they call it 120, this beer is brewed for 120 minutes, and it's continually hopped. Every couple of minutes they'll throw more hops in, throw more hops in, throw more hops in. And that's why it's called the 120. It's a little longer than a standard 60-minute boil or brew time. They're actually brewing this one for 120 minutes, which is 2 hours. So they brew this beer and they continually hop it during that brewing process. And they're adding a lot of malt and a lot of hops to get this to the 12%. And like I said, I have not had this in about 4 years. And I do pick up a bottle or two occasionally and stick it in the fridge or the closet just to cellar it. And like it says on the label right here on the very bottom, ages well. Well, I mean, if it's real boozy, you might be able to cellar it for a little while and calm that down. It doesn't necessarily always happen that way. I have cellared beers and they're just as boozy as it was when I put them in the fridge. But sometimes it does subside, or the beer will get more complex over time, and it will all come together a little bit better than what it is when it's freshly put in the bottle. Especially something like a 12%er or something bigger, up to 15, 16%. So it is what it is. So, but anyway, we're going to do a side-by-side. We did a KBS side-by-side not too long ago. So, and I've done the KBS review before, but I have actually not done the Dogfish Head 120 on camera before. So we're going to do a side-by-side and see if we can tell any differences and see if there's any changes or noticeable differences from a beer that's a couple years old from the last batch that they did. I think the 13 is the last batch. I don't think they've done one in 2014. I may be mistaken, but that's the last batch that I have is the 2013. And I did have the 2011 in the fridge downstairs, so I decided, why not? Let's do a side-by-side. This is your typical IPA food pairing wise. So food pairing for this is cuisine is barbecue, and cheeses are pepper, Monterey, pepper jack, sharp blue, cheddar, your more stronger cheeses, and it would probably be a good thing to do a real strong cheese with this if you're into the cheeses. the Gorgonzola Limburger, the really potent cheeses. Because this is a strong beer. And the meat for this is game grilled meat salmon, and I will add grilled meat to that because I like that with my IPAs. And you would actually, technically would consider this an imperial or a double IPA. I mean, this is a great big beer. This is a 12%er. And like I said, there's $20 worth of beer sitting here on the table for 2 bottles. I'm pretty sure I paid about $10 a pop for each one of these beers. So. Glasswire, snifter, tulip, oversized wine glass. We've got the Tiku glass and the double glass here to pour these beers into. And of course it says it can be cellared for long periods. Some people like these type of beers as fresh as they can get them. And sometimes cellaring them, like I said, it says right on the label, ages well. So, I mean, I don't know how much the hops are going to diminish on the 2011 edition as opposed to the 2013 edition, but we're about to find out. So, without further ado, let's get the cap off of this 2011 and get it in the Tiku glass. Not a big hiss. Not a big hiss at all. And we're going to try to pour these kind of the same in each glass. I don't think they're going to pour monster hits. I'm going to pour them fairly aggressive down the center. Well, I may be mistaken there. We got a nice 2+ fingers of head on this one in the Tiku glass. About got it all in there, about just maybe a half a sip. So, and I can smell it from here. I mean, it is definitely big on the hop presence. Getting a lot of mango and tropical fruit notes on there. Now for the 2013 edition. A lot bigger hiss on this one than it was in 2011. And like I said, we're going to pour these fairly aggressive and see what we end up with. I'm not sure if the shape of that glass with that tighter neck in there, a lot more head in the Tiku glass than we're getting here. About a finger of head in the Dubo glass. Let me see if I can hold both of these up where you can see them. To me, the Dubo glass looks a little darker. The 2013 looks a little darker than the 2011. Over to the light. I can't see the bulb right through it. There are some bubbles streaming up, reinforcing that head. And over here, to me, the beer looks darker. The newer beer looks a little darker. Now, that may be the thickness of the glass may have an effect on that because it's a little bit thicker glass than the Tiku glass. I don't have 2 Tikus and I don't have 2 Dubos, so I can't pour them exactly. I could have poured them both in a pint glass, but I did not. But it looks pretty close to the this beer. The 2011 looks a little lighter in this glass. Do y'all see that? I mean, it looks a little lighter than the 2013. Well, let's get a nose on it and see what we got, guys. A lot of sweet malt. There is a hop presence there, but it's kind of subdued on the 2011 edition. Very sweet smelling. Man, I like apricots, figs, dates, raisins, a little bit of dark fruit in there. I'm getting a very similar nose on this one. Very sweet smelling, maybe some toffee or caramel and some dark fruit. Not getting more hops on this one than I am this one. The nose is very similar. There may be a hint of more hop presence in this one, the fresher one. Of course, everybody knows. I mean, if you cellar a hoppy beer, those hops will fade over time, and I'm getting just a hint of that. I do think this one is a little more pungent in the hops than this one is. But it still has the same sweet malt, darker fruit, caramel, toffee smell. I just think that this one smells a little bit stronger as far as the hop presence than this one does. I'm getting a hint of the same amount of booze in both of them. One does not smell more boozier than the other one. Well, let's give it a taste. Cheers, everybody. 2011 first. Very sweet, very boozy. A lot more booze. Now, it's not burning per se. There is just a slight bit of heat, but nothing intolerable. You can definitely tell you're drinking a bigger beer. 12%. I mean, the alcohol, to me, is almost to the medicinal quality. It's not that hot, but you can really tell this is a big beer. A lot of malt, a lot of hops it takes to brew a beer of this caliber. Let's try the 2013. To me, a little more alcohol, heat and booziness to the 2013 than that one. That one tastes a tad sweeter. And I'll be straight up honest with you guys. I've been doing beer reviews for almost 4 years now. Drank a lot of beers, over 1,400 of them. And this beer is still too big for my palate. I could not drink this beer all the time. It is too boozy. It is too hot. There's just too much alcohol taste in these two beers to be an enjoyable beer. I mean, if you're looking to get shit-faced, I mean, this will get you there fast. At $10 a pop, it ought to, you know what I'm saying? But for an enjoyable beer that you could drink, maybe not necessarily on a daily basis, but maybe on a special occasion, maybe once a month or something like that, it's still too strong for my palate. There's just too much booziness and too much alcohol. Now, granted, it's not as boozy as it was when I first had it 4 years ago. To me, I mean, when I had it the first time, I mean, I was just like, yuck. I'm not to that stage, but I'm not to the stage where I think I could enjoy this on a regular basis. It's just too hot and too boozy. It's not bad, but it is a monster beer. Brewing for twice as long and being continuously hopped over that period, it has got a big boozy taste to me. The 2011 definitely tastes a tad sweeter to me than the 2013 edition. I'm not saying it's better. I just think that the hops have subsided a little bit and it's got a little more complex over time. And the ingredients have come together a little bit. And that's another reason probably why they say it ages well. Well, the hops being continuously hopped over 120 minutes, it's probably not going to lose as much as something that's not hopped over the entire brewing process. So, it tastes a little sweeter on the 2011 than the 2013, and not quite as boozy on the 2011 as the 2013. So, well guys, let's let it warm up and let her taste it, see what she thinks of it. I mean, there's 2 big glasses here. I'm definitely going to let her try both of them and see what she thinks of it. But to me, right now, I'm liking the 2011 edition a little bit better than the 2013. They're both boozy, but this one tastes, the 2011 tastes a little sweeter and a little easier to drink. Not that they are easy to drink, but a little easier to drink than the 2013 to me. Just my opinion. So let's let it warm up the hair and let's see where they end up. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Took it in there and let her, didn't tell her what it was. Let her try the 2011 edition. And she seemed to go, this is good. Then I gave her the 2013 edition and she goes, a lot of alcohol in this one. She tasted it. She said, tastes kind of boozy. I said, So, got the same response. Then I told her what it was. It was the Dogfish 120, 2011, and 2013 editions. To me, the fresher bottle is definitely more boozy. A little more hop presence in the 2013 than the 2011. But the 2011 seems to have mellowed. It's a little sweeter. It's a little easier to drink. Not quite as boozy to me. When they say it ages well, I would not argue with that a bit. I think it is a great beer to age. Even though it's an IPA, it's a double or imperial IPA. And I'm not a big fan of aging those, but like I said, when I tried this 4 years ago, I mean, I just thought it was nasty. I don't think it's nasty now. I think it's pretty good beer. But it's a way bigger beer than I can drink all the time. I mean, it is definitely a special occasion beer. And I definitely think it ages well and it is better with some age on it than it is fresh. I mean, if you can drink a brand new fresh bottle of this and love it, you might be an alcoholic. No, I'm just kidding, guys. It's a lot stronger beer fresh. A lot more hop presence, but a lot more booze presence to go with that hop presence. Now, with a couple of years age on it, it seems like everything is intertwined a little bit better. It's a little mellower. It's a little sweeter. It's a little easier drinking. It's still boozy, but it's a little more tolerable for my palate, guys. I definitely like the 2011 edition, and I'm not saying I'd say the 2013 edition is just going to be just as tasty a couple of years down the road. I don't think they've changed the recipe whatsoever. I just think it's the nature of the beast, being a fresh bottle of a 12% double IPA or imperial IPA, as opposed to one that's been cellaring for a couple of years now. So that's where I'm at with this one. So let's do the final chug. This is a 2011. Still smells very sweet to me. A lot of fruitiness to this beer with the age on it. I mean, I'm getting tangerines, apples, apricots. I'm getting the alcohol to go with that though, but there is a nice sweetness to this beer. But you can definitely tell you're drinking a big beer. But it's not as harsh with a couple of years age on it than it is with the fresh bottle of the 2013 to me. Just my opinion now, guys. I could drink the 2011 edition easier than the 2013, I believe. So let's do the final chug on the 2013. There's more of a astringent bitterness smell to the 2013 than there is the 2011. It smells harsher. It's not as fruity. It's more boozy in the nose. I agree with the label. This ages well. I mean, if you were to drink this, I got a feeling 5 years from now, the 2011 edition would have been better than it is now. I mean, I just think this beer will be better with more time on it than less time. And that goes against my grain of everything that I preach to y'all about IPAs. I mean, the fresher the better, but this is an exception to the rule. It really is. This has got a big booziness on there. There is an astringent medicinal smell to it to me. There is definitely more hops there. There's definitely more alcohol taste to me. It is not as sweet. it is not as pleasant to me as the 2011 edition of this beer. Both of them are still a little bit big for my palate. Unless this is the final beer of the evening or you're just in a hurry to get shit-faced, this is a great big monster double IPA. Probably one of the most booziest IPAs or double IPAs that I think I've tasted. And that's the impression that I got when I first had it 4 years ago. When I had it 4 years ago, like I told you, it was just like, yuck. I mean, it was just like drinking rubbing alcohol to me. It just blew my palate out of my mouth. Now that I've advanced a little bit, it's still boozy, but it's not that yuck feeling. It's pretty tasty. I mean, it is a nice, tasty beer with a couple of years age on it. I mean, the pressure bottle was just, it wasn't to the yuck category, but it was definitely a lot harsher to drink than the one that was 2011, been in the fridge for a couple of years. So that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. As far as I'm concerned, and I'm gonna go against everything that you read and heard about this beer, more than likely. I'm not going with Rate Beer or Beer Advocate or any of that. As far as I'm concerned, the 2011 edition is an 8. It's an A minus. You got to realize what you're drinking: a 12% double imperial IPA, brewed with massive amounts of hops and continuously hopped over 120 minutes, which is twice the boil time that a typical beer gets. So it's boiled twice as long with, I don't want to say twice the malt, but it probably is twice the malt, and continuously hopped. Every couple of minutes they're going to throw more hops in there. And they're going to have to do that with that massive amounts of malt that they're using to brew a 12% beer. Now the 2013 edition, I don't even think it's an A beer. I'm gonna give it a 7. I think it's a B plus beer. I think it is better with a couple of years age on it. And I do have another one of these 2011s that I'm going to sell her for probably quite a while. I may even put 5 more years on it before I may do another side-by-side 5 years from now and see how the 2013 and the 2011 has changed over that time. So I do have another one of each one of these beers, and I'm going to keep them for a while. It's going to be quite a while before I re-review these beers again. So with that being said, I'm enjoying the 2011 just a little bit more than the 2013. A little less booziness, a little bit sweeter, a little easier drinking. Both of them are boozy, but not, to me, the 2011 has matured very well as opposed to the 2013. So that's where I'm going to leave it. 8 for the 2011, 7 for the 2013, guys. So with that being said, let's go see what everybody else thinks. We'll go over to Beer Advocate, and they don't differentiate between the years. I mean, all that's lumped into the same category, and what they're saying is a 91, which is outstanding. If I was rating the 2011 edition, that's where I would put it, 91. If I was rating the 2013 edition, I would say 88 or 89. That's where I would put that one, just because of the booziness and the sweetness and the harshness and the alcohol content of these two beers. Both of them being a 12%er. Monster IPA beers, guys. So at least it's a little more tolerable than it was 4 years ago when I first had it. That's why I haven't reviewed it yet. I mean, when I had this the last time, before I started doing beer reviews, or when I first got started, I just thought it was nasty. I really, really did. I thought this was, oh my God, this is just horrible. If I would have reviewed it 4 years ago, I would have probably gave it a 4 or a 5. I mean, it was that, it blew my palate out of my mouth that bad. I mean, I just thought it was just like drinking rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol with some hops in it. I mean, that's what it tasted like to me back then. So a little bit of change over time with 1,400 beer reviews, but I still think it is a monster beer. Very boozy for what we're getting. Not super impressed. I would definitely not consider this a world-class 10 beer. I would prefer Stone Enjoy By over these any day of the week, guys. I really, really would. I mean, or a Heady Topper, or a Pliny the Elder, or even a Three Floyds beer. I mean, all those beers taste more enjoyable to me. I'm not after to get shit-faced. I mean, I'm not after that 12% going to kick your ass and face down in the dirt. I'm not after that. If I was, I'd drink malt liquor, or I'd drink liquor, period. I mean, I would just, you know, give me that Wild Turkey 151 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not after that get shit-faced effect. I'm after the taste. And the taste comes with well brewing, and this is a well brewed beer, but it is a monster well brewed beer. And this is their, I won't say their top of the line, but it is their flagship. This is what we can do. This is our monster fucking beer. You know what I'm saying? It is what they say. Well, this is what we can do. You know, with a 12% IPA, double IPA, or an Imperial IPA. But it's not for me every day. I would not drink this every day. If I was, I'd be in the rehab. So, with that being said, I enjoyed the 2011. To finalize all this up, I enjoyed the 2011 better than the 2013. Didn't think it was quite as boozy. It was a little sweeter. It had mellowed out, or everything had come together a little bit better than the fresher bottle. But a lot of people like that stuff fresh as can be, and I'm usually one of those. But I actually think the 2011 edition, just like we did the KBS, I actually thought the older bottle was a little bit better than the newer bottle. And it wasn't because of the alcohol, but it was because of the taste. And that's where I'm going to leave this one, guys. If you've had this beer, let me know what you think of it. Great beer. Says 99 overall and 97 in the style. I think that's very impressive numbers for this beer. A lot of the craft beer guys that do the reviews like that kind of stuff that's going to blow their head off, their hair back, their socks off, and all that. They really get in. They get their rocks off on something like this. That's really just going to blow their palate out of their mouth. And I'm not to that extent. I'm more into the taste and the drinkability part of it, as far as massive alcohol and all of that. So that's where I'm at with this one, guys. I'm just telling you straight up. This is my honest opinion. This is the way I feel about it. You may agree with me, you may disagree with me, but this is, I'm going to tell you like it is. This is what I think of it. After 4 years of doing 1,400 and some beer reviews, I actually think this is still quite boozy for what it is. But if you like to get your damn jollies off pretty quick, drink you a couple bottles of this real quick. You be there. Your head will be spinning around, and if you drink a 6-pack of these, that'd be a $60 package of beer. If you ain't got your buzz on by this, something fucking wrong with you. That's all I can say. So, with that being said, guys, let me know what you think of this. Side by side on the Dogfish Head 2011 edition, 2013 edition. Let's go see what's in the fridge tomorrow. I don't think it'll be quite this boozy. We're going to take a look and see. See you then.